he opened the seal, the seventh, it became silent in the heaven about half an hour. And I saw the 7 messengers who have stood before the God, and 7 trumpets were given to them. And another messenger, having a gold incense holder, came and stood on the sacrifice place, and was given to him much incense that he will give in the prayers of all the holy ones on the gold sacrifice place before the throne. And the smoke of the incense came up in the prayers of the holy ones from the hand of the messenger before the God. And the messenger took the incense holder, and he filled it from the fire of the sacrifice place and threw it into the earth. And there came thunders and sounds and lightnings and shake. And the 7 messengers, having the 7 trumpets, prepared them that they might trumpet. And the first trumpeted, and there came hail and fire having been mixed in blood, and it was thrown into the earth. And the third of the earth was burned down, and the third of the trees was burned down, and all green grass was burned down. And the second messenger trumpeted, and like a great hill of burning fire was thrown into the sea. And the third of the sea became blood, and the third of the creations in the sea, the ones having souls, died, and the third of the boats were thoroughly corrupted. And the third messenger trumpeted, and a great star burning as a lamp fell from the heaven, and it fell on the third of the rivers and on the springs of the waters, and the name of the star is called the Bitterness. And the third of the waters became into bitterness, and many of the humans died from the waters because they were made bitter. And the fourth messenger trumpeted, and the third of the sun was struck, and the third of the moon, and the third of the stars, that the third of them might be darkened, and the day might not shine, the third of it, and the night likewise. And I saw and I heard one eagle flying in middle heaven, saying in a great sound, Woe, 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 the ones residing on the earth, from the remaining sounds of the trumpet of the 3 messengers, the ones being about to trumpet. And the 5th messenger trumpeted, and I saw a star from the heaven having fallen into the earth, and was given to it the key of the well of the bottomless. And he opened the well of the bottomless, and smoke went up from the well as smoke of a great furnace. And the sun and the air was darkened from the smoke of the well. And from the smoke went out locusts into the earth, and authority was given to them as the scorpions of the earth have authority. And it was said to them that they will not wrong the grass of the earth, nor any green thing, nor any tree, except the humans who do not have the seal of the God on the forehead. And it was given to them that they might not kill them, but that they will be tormented 5 months. And their torment is like the torment of a scorpion when it might strike a man. And in those days humans will seek the death, and not ever will they find it. And they will desire to die, and the death flees from them. And the likenesses of the locusts are like horses having been prepared for war, and on their heads is crowns like gold, and their faces as faces of men, and they had hairs as hairs of women, and their teeth were as of lions, and they had breastplates as iron breastplates, and the sound of their wings is the sound of many horse chariots running to war. And they have tails like scorpions and stingers, and in their tails is their authority to wrong the humans 5 months. They have on them a king, the messenger of the bottomless. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in the Greek he has the name Apollyon. The woe. The one went off. Look, come still 2 woes after these. And the 6th messenger trumpeted. And I heard one sound from the 4 horns of the gold sacrifice placed before the God, saying to the 6th messenger, the one having the trumpet, Loose the 4 messengers, the ones having been bound on the great river Euphrates. And the 4 messengers were loosed, the ones having prepared for the hour and day and month and year, that they might kill the third of the humans. And the number of the armies of the horsemen, 2 10,000s of 10,000. I heard the number of them. And in this manner in this sight I saw the horses and the ones sitting on them, having sulphury breastplates of fiery hyacinth, and the heads of the horses as heads of lions, and from their mouths travel out fire and smoke and sulfur. From these 3 blows, the third of the humans were killed, from the fire and the smoke and the sulfur traveling out from their mouths. For the authority of the horses is in their mouths and in their tails, for their tails are like snakes having heads, and in them they do wrong. And the remaining of the humans who were not killed in these blows, they did not change their minds from the works of their hands, that they will not worship the demons and the idols of gold and silver and copper and of stone and of wood, that neither are they able to see or to hear or to walk around. And they did not change their minds from their murders, nor from their drugs, nor from their sexual immorality, nor from their thefts. And I saw another strong messenger coming down from the heaven, having thrown around himself a cloud, and the rainbow on his head, and his face as the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire, and having in his hand a little book having been opened, and he set his right foot on the sea, but the left on the earth, and he shouted in a great sound, as indeed a lion roars. And when he shouted, the 7 thunders spoke their own sounds, and when the 7 thunders spoke, I was about to write, and I heard sound from the heavens saying, "Seal what the 7 thunders spoke, and you may not write them." And the messenger I saw having stood on the sea and on the earth lifted up his right hand into the heaven and took an oath in the one living into the ages of the ages, who created the heaven and the things in it, and the earth and the things in it, and the sea and the things in it, that time no longer will be, but in the days of the sound of the 7th messenger, when he might be about to trumpet, and was completed the mystery of the God, as he told the good message of himself to his slaves the spokesman. And the sound which I heard from the heaven was again speaking with me, saying, "Go off, take the small book having been opened in the hand of the messenger, the one having stood on the sea and on the earth." And I went off to the messenger, saying to him to give to me the little book, and he says to me, "Take and eat it up, and it will make your stomach bitter, but it will be sweet as honey in your mouth." And I took the little book from the hand of the messenger and ate it up, and it was sweet as honey in my mouth. And when I ate it, my stomach was made bitter. And they say to me, "It is necessary for you again to speak before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings." And a reed-like rod was given to me, saying, "Arise and measure the temple of the God and the sacrifice place and the ones worshiping in it, and throw outside the outside courtyard of the temple, and do not measure it, because it was given to the nations. And they will walk the holy city 42 months. And I will give to my 2 testifiers, and they will speak publicly 1,260 days, having thrown around themselves sackcloths. These are the 2 olives and the 2 lampstands, having stood before the master of the earth. And if any wants to do them wrong, fire travels out from their mouths and eats up the ones hostile to them. And if any might want them to do wrong in this manner, it is necessary for him to be killed. These have the authority to close the heavens, that it might not rain the days of their speaking before. And they have authority on the waters to turn them into blood, and to hit the earth in every blow as often as if they might want. And when they might complete their testimony, the wild animal, the one coming up from the bottomless, will make war with them, and will conquer them, and will kill them. And their corpses on the wide place of the great city, which is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt, where also their master was crucified. And they from the peoples and tribes and tongues and nations see the corpse of them 3.5 days, and they allowed not their corpses to be set into a grave. And the ones residing on the earth rejoice over them and are merry, and they will send gifts to one another, because these the 2 spokesmen tormented the ones residing on the earth. And after the 3 days and a half, Spirit of life from the God went into them, and they stood on their feet, and great fear fell on the ones watching them. And they heard a great sound from the heavens saying to them, "Come up here." And they went up into the heaven in the cloud, and the ones hostile to them watched them. And in that the hour there came a great shake, and the 10th of the city fell, and names of 7,000 humans were killed in the shake. And the remaining were in fear, and they gave splendor to the God of the heaven.